Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, we'll have a debate on recent changes to state voter laws. We'll hear from both sides of the issue. And we'll hear about an organization that's helping the families of the 19 firefighters who lost their lives in the Yarnell Hill fire. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. A memorial service was held in Prescott this morning for the 19 firefighters who lost their lives battling the Yarnell Hill fire. Vice President Joe Biden was among those speaking at today's service. Biden's message of hope was based on his own experience of losing his wife and 13-month-old daughter in a car accident in 1972.
As unbelievable as it is, as unbelievable as it is to even fathom it, that the day will come when the memory of your husband, your son, your dad, your brother will bring a smile to your lips before it brings a tear to your eye. My prayer for all of you is that that day will come sooner than later, but I promise you, as unbelievable as it is, it will come.
Later in tonight's program, we'll hear from a representative of the 100 Club, an organization that helps the families of fallen first responders and is now assisting those who lost loved ones fighting the Yarnell Hill fire. A referendum has been filed to try and overturn new voter laws approved by the state legislature. The Protect Your Right to Vote Committee has until September 12th to collect over 86,000 valid signatures, which would put the laws on hold until the November 2014 general election. The new laws put stricter requirements on citizen initiatives and make it tougher for third parties to get on the ballot. The laws also tighten rules on early voter lists and make it more difficult for someone to deliver another person's ballot to a polling place. Here now to express opposition to the new election laws is Barry Hess of the Libertarian Party and a former gubernatorial candidate. And here in support of the new laws is Tim Seifert of the Arizona Republican Party. Good to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining us. Barry, thoughts on the new voter laws?
I think that it's really a travesty for the Arizona voters in the sense that 16 Republicans only decided to overhaul the most massive overhaul of our election laws in Arizona's history. Traditionally, they would go to the voters where they should be. But this was clearly a contrived plan to keep third parties off the ballot in the thought that Republicans would inherit libertarian votes or independent votes. And I would caution them on their short-sightedness because they just invited libertarian opposition, not support.
Thoughts on the new laws?
Well, it's not an overhaul at all. These are some small corrections, if you will, that have been made to the laws to make it more easy for voters to understand what it takes to get on the ballot. Every candidate on the general election ballot now has to have the same number of signatures to get that spot. So it's an issue of equality. It's also an issue of fairness. This is a law that was passed by the House, passed by the Senate, and signed into law by the governor. It does three main things. It changes the signature requirements, equalizes those, and it drops dormant voters who haven't been using their early ballots from the list. So we won't have a lot of these unvoted ballots sort of in circulation, which is really kind of a recipe for fraud.
Well, it's really unfortunate when we talk about fairness and say that people have to get the equal number of signatures to get on the ballot. What Mr. Seifert is not telling you is that in many cases the smaller parties have to get more signatures than there are party registrants. And the whole point of this, it basically does away with the general election because they're saying you have to prove viability before you can even get on the ballot, which is absurd. And the Supreme Court has ruled against it, and they will again when we go to court on it.
Real quickly, what is wrong with proving viability?
Because the whole point of a primary is a very simple process. It's to determine who will represent each party and interest on the general ballot. It's not to determine if they will be on the ballot. It's who. And that's why the Supreme Court has consistently said it should be a percentage, as it was, in a more fair distribution before this nonsense came up, based upon a same percentage applied to those registered voters in that political subdivision.
Is this now just a de facto general election, adios primary?
No, not at all. As in Arizona, about 36% of the voters are registered as Republicans, and about 33% are registered independents, folks that are not involved in any political party. And they're certainly free to sign the petition signatures of whatever candidate they desire. So Barry's candidates are free to get signatures from those folks.
Well, that's not entirely true, because we went to court, and I won the case at the Ninth Circuit, the right to close our primary so that we could keep our own distinction away from the Republican-Democrat team, so that we could be completely separate, because we are. We won that right, and now this forces us to go outside our party just to get on the ballot. In many cases, a majority is needed of non-party members to get your signatures to get on your own ballot to represent a specific interest. That's ridiculous.
To that point, is it fair that you would need more signatures than there are folks registered in your party?
Well, it certainly is, but the Libertarians have a history of receiving more votes than there are members in their party. So that's sort of a red herring argument.
No, that's speculation. That's reality. It's who can. It's who's eligible is what the courts go by. And the only ones who are eligible in a closed primary are those people from that party. The Greens get it too. We're talking not just little nudges, as Mr. Seifert had said, to the election law. We're talking massive, where, for instance, the Greens, they need 50 to 200 times what they did before just to get on the ballot. And it's because the Republicans, they're all Republicans. The whole movement was try to push everybody off the ballot, and they want to win by exclusion, and that's not going to happen in Arizona.
To that point specifically, the idea that this is a technique that the Republican Party is using to get folks that could siphon votes for Republicans off the ballot. Your response?
No, that's not true at all. This it was passed by a Republican legislature and a Republican governor, but if you look at the county recorders and the Secretary of State, the folks that are in charge of administering the elections, even the Democrats, namely Ann Rodriguez in Pima County, second largest county in the state, she was wholeheartedly in favor of this bill.
Well, that's not entirely true, because 2305 is actually two bills. One's the amendment, the omnibus to rewrite the election laws. That was tacked on at the last minute. The original 3-page bill, the circulators that the county recorders liked, and we've talked to them, there's going to be a lot coming back on that one, because they are not in agreement with the rest of the provisions. There's like 5 major provisions. Several groups have distinctions of each one, what they hate about it. And we've brought together the Tea Party, Sheriff Richard Mack, we've got Republican Karen Johnson, we've got the League of Women Voters, the Goldwater Institute, the Democrats, the Greens, and independents, because really I'm here to defend the independents who have no access to the ballot under any circumstances in this nonsense.
Last question on this. Does this help give voters more choice?
Well, I definitely think that it does. This is all about fairness for the voters. The candidates, they can take care of themselves. They do a pretty good job of that. But the voters are the folks that are concerned about. That's what the county recorders are concerned about. The folks that are going to go and vote early or vote their ballot at the polls. This does preserve their choice, so that they're getting legitimate choices.
Legitimate choices?
Absolutely not. They're getting Republicans and Democrats, and they're the ones who got us into the pickle that we're in here in Arizona and across the country. We need ideas from outside that it destroys any kind of choices. It will be a Republican or a Democrat that you get to choose from. And most of us will realize it'll make a joke of the elections, and Arizona gets to be the butt of every joke in the world again.
There's another aspect of this law that would make it harder for citizen initiatives and recalls. And the idea is that you would now have to follow strict compliance with campaign laws, not substantive or the idea that you're close enough. Why not? Why not follow strict laws?
I have no problem following strict laws. That part of it doesn't bother me a bit, the strict compliance. It bothers the Greens. It bothers the Democrats. I'm well aware. It doesn't bother us. We play by the rules. We don't cheat. It's like 55 different Republicans have already emailed me out of about 350 in response to this saying, I'm a Republican, and because of this, I am not going to vote Republican, period. And of course, from our perspective, we're going to be encouraging them along that lines if we should not get the referendum or the court challenges are not successful.
The idea that substantial compliance, the courts have kind of found this to be good enough. Why isn't that good enough?
Well, this is the legislature giving some direction, some much-needed direction to the courts when those judges make their decisions about whether something stays on the ballot or gets kicked off, a person or an issue gets kicked off the ballot.
The other aspects of the election voting changes, tightening up the rules on the early voter list. You get removed if you don't vote in, what, 2 straight elections?
Right.
Here, that
Generals and primaries. So it's actually 4 elections.
Okay, why is that necessary?
Well, it's expensive to mail those ballots. The way people move in Arizona, they keep sending them the ballots and they don't vote, and that's fine. What will happen under this new law is that after 4 elections have gone by and somebody they've received their earlier ballot but they haven't voted it, they'll get a postcard from the county recorder saying, "Are you still there? Do you still want to receive your early ballot?" And all they have to do is say, "Yes, I'm still here. I haven't voted, but I would like to continue to receive the early ballot," and that fixes that.
Well, see, and that provision was just designed to save Karl Rove, because this is a nationwide thing. This is going on in like 17 or 18 states. These Republicans are really trying to tighten this nut. They want to save money on voting or sending their literature, the campaign trash, to all the people. They don't want to send it to dead voters. And that's what it's about, is to save them money. It's a Republican thing again.
Regardless of the money saved or the money not saved, the idea that you're on an early voting list and you're not voting early, should you remain on the list?
Whatever the rules are, we're willing to play by those rules. If it's every 2 years, that's fine. I don't have any terrible objection to that part.
Okay, so that aspect of these changes you're not all that excited about then?
For an early ballot.
Yes.
I mean, but the eligibility, as long as they're a registered voter, they should be able to vote.
And limiting who can take another person's ballot to a polling place. Why is that necessary?
That's a big deal. In the last election cycle in November and in the months before, we got calls at the county, at the state party headquarters saying, "Hey, there's groups of people coming through the neighborhoods, knocking on doors and picking up people's ballots." Now, these groups, they know who's received an early ballot, they know who hasn't turned that early ballot in, and they're going out there to try to pick up these ballots. And that's just a recipe for mischief. And the law has now, and we've always discouraged people from giving their ballot to anybody that they don't know and trust, and now the law has simply codified that practice.
A recipe for mischief. Have we seen mischief?
Well, you'd have to go to court. You'd have to find actual instances. But the number of ballots that were turned in through this process is in the 10,000s. And this is the particular issue that the county recorders were particularly upset about. A lot of ballots get turned in at the last minute. It delays the count and makes their jobs a lot tougher.
Your thoughts on this aspect?
Well, on this aspect, it is a recipe for disaster to let somebody else not only give you the ballot, but help you fill it out and then hand carry it back to where they want it to go. Because I remember when the Republicans were sending postcards to all their registered members saying basically, who are you going to vote for in the next election, and we're going to send you a mail-in ballot. Well, the ones who checked off the wrong name, I think McCain was in that case, was the right name. But we, libertarians, were doing some dumpster diving and found all the ones who weren't going to vote for the approved candidate thrown in the trash so they wouldn't receive their early ballots. So it's the Republicans that pulling the snaky stuff, and we proved it. It was a court case. So it was just kind of interesting to hear them talk about they want to do things on the above board when they've been doing the sneaky stuff.
How do you respond to that?
Well, it's interesting to hear about the dumpster diving, but what we're concerned about is that the voters can trust the process. They can trust that their ballot will be counted. It will go into the hands of an election official. The choices that they have on that ballot are for legitimate candidates that have met the same standard that all the other candidates on the ballot have done.
But by qualifying for their primary, I wouldn't have any quarrel with that statement, but what he intends is completely different than what I do.
Last question, real quickly. You keep mentioning the primary and the fact that you qualify for a primary and then move forward. If I have the I Love Ted Simons party and I got 16 people out there, God forbid, who actually would join such a party, do I get to have my own primary and the winner of my primary has to appear on the ballot?
Absolutely. And the reason is, if you think about it, the short-sightedness of this whole plan would have knocked Ronald Reagan out of the race in the presidential one. These guys are not thinking, because the primary is not to determine viability or broad acceptance. It is to determine who is the best standard bearer for that very limited group, the Ted Simons party. So, and maybe you'd be the best candidate. But the reality would be that if you're required to get my signature, I might be going, hey, the Ted Simons party better start giving me free stuff from government.
And last point to you, who is to decide what a legitimate candidate is?
Well, the voters make that decision in the primary. When those candidates get advanced onto the general ballot, as you know, very few people actually vote in the primaries. The general election turnout is much higher. So those voters should be given the assurance that those candidates have all met the same standard.
Provided you have a primary.
Yes.
Right. If this bill was honestly well intended, we would eliminate the primary altogether and have the parties just submit names to the Secretary of State who's going to be on the ballot. And it would have gotten rid of the mail-in ballots.
Real quickly, last word on that.
Well, that's just simply an argument based on convenience, coming from a third party that really doesn't have much of a chance for a victory.
We have to stop it right there, gentlemen. Good discussion. Good to have you both here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ted.
Drive a few miles north of Strawberry on Highway 87, nearly 20 miles on rugged forest roads along the edge and into the deep woods atop the Mogollon Rim, then scamper 500 feet down the southern edge of a rocky canyon, and you'll come upon a monument to the Battle of Big Dry Wash. The site looks much as it did on July 17, 1882, when a party of over 50 Apaches under Nattiatish waited to ambush cavalry led by Captain Adna R. Chaffee. The troops were guided by legendary scout Al Sieber, who discovered the Apaches' trap and warned the soldiers. The Apache had no idea that they were now surrounded, outnumbered, and they had lost the element of surprise. Nearly half the Apache were killed, including Nattiatish. Only 2 troopers died in the melee. The names of the cavalry that took part in the fight are listed on the back of the rarely visited massive stone monument, including Lieutenant Thomas Cruz, who won the Medal of Honor. The Battle of Big Dry Wash was the last battle fought between the Apaches and Army regulars.
The 100 Club of Arizona is an organization that steps in to help the families of firefighters, police officers, and other emergency first responders who've lost their lives in the line of duty. Sierra Franklin of the 100 Club is here now to talk about the organization and specifically the 100 Club's efforts to assist the families of the 19 firefighters killed in the Yarnell Hill fire. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. You must be awfully busy right now.
Oh, we are so busy, Ted, but it's been so great. The community support, the outreach, businesses from across the nation are coming to us wanting to help, and it's just overwhelming in a good way.
Let's talk about the organization. What is the 100 Club? The
100 Club stands behind the men and women who stand behind the badge. So since 1968, we have been there for our Phoenix families when an officer is killed in the line of duty. Since almost 12 years ago, we expanded our mission to include firefighters, and we are statewide now. So we are there in cases of line of duty death, non-line of duty death, line of duty injury, scholarships, safety equipment, anything we can do to enhance the safety and welfare of those behind the badge.
Well, yeah, and more specifically, how does the club help the families of these first responders? What's actually done?
Well, first and foremost, within 24 to 48 hours, we're there with a check. So in line of duty, we're there with $15,000 immediately. We have the funds ready and available because usually it takes some time for the benefits to kick in through the cities and federal and life insurance, and so we're there with that immediate relief to pay the bills on the table, to just help with funeral arrangements, pretty much anything that we can do we're there for. And then in non-line of duty death, it's $5,000.
So we're talking money, we're talking resources, other advice, moral support?
The emotional support that we provide, I mean, we're just there ready when the family wants us. We don't want to attack them with, information, but when they want to talk to us, we're there. We have survivors, we have a team of survivors who have lost their husbands and wives and children, and they can provide, just a little insight of what to expect, and that just to let them know we're there for them.
I was going to ask that. How do you figure out what a family might need? I mean, the family is obviously thrown for a complete loop. They might not even know what they need. How do you figure out what they need?
Well, every family is different. Some families have children, some don't. Some were married, some weren't. Some were the only wage earners in their families, and other people's spouses do have a job. And so every family is a little different, and I think that the families still don't even know what they need. And so we're just there to tell them, yes, we can do that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about your grandma in California or somebody in Hawaii. We'll bring them here wherever they are. We'll bring them here for the funerals. And we just don't want them to have any worry, because it's just enough worry and grief as it is.
And the help you've mentioned, it starts pretty much within 48 hours. How long does that assistance continue? Until
forever. Forever. We're going to be there for them forever. One thing is that each family will be invited back to the national memorials. So there's a National Firefighter Memorial in Denver and in Emmitsburg. And then there's a police memorial in D.C. And so we want to help them get there too. So they have a year of memorials ahead of them, sometimes a year and a half, that they are going to state memorials, city memorials, national memorials, the 100 Club Memorial. And so it's going to be a long year, and we're going to be there for them. But we'll be there for them after that too. We have a scholarship program for their children. When they're going to school, we'll be able to help them.
The 100 Club you mentioned has been around for quite a while. How did the 100 Club start?
Well, the 100 Club concept started in Michigan when a local businessman asked 100 friends to donate $100 to care for a young widow of a police officer there. So the concept was then brought over to Phoenix by a group of businessmen here, including Bill Shover and some of Arizona's finest businessmen. They came together and wanted to do the same concept. Today, we don't require you to pay $100. We have different types of memberships, but the 100 Club name has carried on. And it's been 45 years. Our mission has expanded and grown, and we are the only statewide 100 Club organization out there.
And who runs the 100 Club?
Well, we have one executive director, Sharon Netson Felix, who lost her husband in 1998. He was a DPS officer. And the 100 Club knocked on her door within the first 24 hours, and at that time it was a $4,000 check. And she couldn't believe that she was actually going to the bank to deposit money because she had lost somebody, and that there were organizations out there to help her. Years prior, she had lost her son when he was just 6 years old in 1983, and she always recalls going to the bank to take out a loan to pay for his funeral. And so the fact that she didn't have to do that really touched her, and she stayed with the 100 Club, came on board after 9/11, and has done such remarkable things. And then we have a small staff of 6 full-time employees.
And you have how many members now, do you think?
We have over 3,000 members, and then so many supporters and sponsors that don't become a member technically, but are still supporting us.
So if someone wants to donate to the 100 Club or help the 100 Club, do they have to become a member? How do they assist, and in what ways can they assist?
Oh, we have so many ways to assist, and membership is not required. Of course, monetary donations are always a big thing because we are contribution-based. We are solely based on contributions and memberships. Volunteer hours are great. Organizations who can come together and have a volunteer program. Of course, sharing our mission. We have a great Facebook page where people can connect with us and figure out what's going on in their communities. This week we have a ton of events and fundraising things going on in memory of the Granite Mountain Hotshots.
Indeed, and let's talk about this particular tragedy, because it's one thing to have 1, 2, 3, 19. I mean, talk about the challenges of just figuring out what needed to be done.
It was overwhelming and remarkable just seeing how the 100 Club was put into action. We rarely pay 10 line of duty deaths in 1 year. So to have 19 in 1 day, and we had just recently lost 3 in May with a Phoenix officer and Phoenix firefighter and DPS officer. And so no one was expecting this, but when I first read the news, I was just like, no, this can't be happening. I just didn't believe it. And I really woke up the next morning thinking it was a nightmare. But what was so great is that we had those funds available. We had the money. We had to move some things around, but to pay $15,000 to each of those 19 families we delivered checks all last week. We've been in Prescott. We've been helping the command center to get together. The chaos up there is just, it's chaos. And so they needed printers. They needed things to run their command center so that they could plan these funerals and plan the memorial today. And the 100 Club was able to help with all of that.
And when you say the 100 Club was able to help, it might be as much as we're going to go get a printer as opposed to we're going to buy it, because they need this help now. They need these things now.
We went to Staples and bought 3 printers and paper and markers and anything that they might need, because there was just a team of hundreds of firefighters up there working to get all of this organized.
So if someone wants to help and assist the 100 Club, where do they go? What can they do?
The best place to go is 100club.org. Find out more about us. There's ways to donate right on the front page. We have several different ways to donate. You can call our office, of course, if you have questions, but 100club.org.
And that's also the best place, I guess, to get more information about the organization.
Definitely.
And after, we've talked about so much about the families and folks in Prescott, and obviously that's where the focus is. For the 100 Club, how much regrouping? How much do you guys need to sit back now and start again?
Well, at the end of this month, we're paying out $177,000 in scholarships.
Wow.
So we definitely want to get regrouped pretty quickly here so we can get those checks out. And that's just the first semester for this year. Next semester will be an additional $177,000. So we're ready. We're needing that support, definitely. But we were so happy to be able to help those kids. So.
Okay. Well, we're glad that we could get you on the program and learn more about the 100 Club and continued success with the organization. You're doing great work. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And Wednesday on Arizona Horizon, we'll look at encouraging news regarding foreclosure levels in the Phoenix area. And we'll find out about a Phoenix-based company that specializes in 3D printing. It's at 5:30 and 10 on the next Arizona Horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.